Okay, so on this live, I'm going to give you guys 3 of my killer negotiating question that I train my this is the question that I train my VA up to ask the seller, to get the seller to come off, dude, 30, 40, 50, even over $100,000 on asking price. And I'm going to share that negotiating questions with you guys right now. So drop it in the chat and let me know if this is something that you guys like. Khang, you love that shirt, don't you? I do. Dude, I got this shirt in Vietnam and I just love it so much. But anyways, we don't have a lot of time. I just dropped one off, so I got a little time here. She's doing a little shopping at TJ Maxx. Let me flip the camera so you guys see it, because some of you said I lied about shopping at TJ Maxx. Dude, Lon loves TJ Maxx, dude. And Ross. And Forever 21. Okay, so negotiating question number 1 is basically saying, so typically when I talk to a seller, I don't say Mr. or Mrs. So let's just say that, hold on. Let's just say Nick. Okay, let's just say I'm talking to Nick. And let's just say that you say sir. When you say sir or ma'am, it just feels so distant. Like you're just like this salesperson. But what if when I talk to Nick, I'd be like, hey Nick, like it's just more, it's more personal, doesn't it? So that's what you want to be. You want to be more like personal. You don't want them to you don't want there's a wall to be in between you two. So typically when you talk to a seller, trying to say their name, it just sounds much more friendly and much closer. Like you don't call your friend or your family like, hey, Mr. Bob, right? So I would say, so Nick, if we were to the connections, is the connection bad? Let me try to see how I can. Is the connection bad? Okay, so basically so the first negotiating question is by simply saying, hey, Nick, if we were, since we are going to buy the property as this condition, okay, and we're going to buy the property as is, we'll take care of all the repairs, all the work. You don't have to clean the house up. And when you do move, you take whatever you want with you. Whatever you don't want, you can leave it behind and we'll deal with it. Because we want to make sure that this is a hassle-free sale for you. So with that being said, what is the best that you can do for us? Boom! That's negotiating question number 1. So let me see how you guys like that one. That's negotiating question number 1. We got 2 more to go, baby. Painting the perfect picture. Yeah, so typically when people that are selling to us or call us, they're in a situation where they don't get the money to do the repair, or maybe they live out of the states that they don't want to do the repair. And you tell them, this is what we can do for you. That is taking the pain, the relief off of them. Because when they go and list it with an agent, most agent don't even know what they're doing. They will tell the seller, well, you need to do this, you need to do that to the property, and guess what? They end up losing the listing. So that's why they go to us, because they don't tell us to do any of that, or we don't tell the seller to do any of that. So from them, they'll be like, well, I'm willing to reduce the price because of that, right? So you're giving them something in return, and you asking them to come off on price, right? Just close on 5K today. Let's go, baby. So here's negotiating question number 2. This one is extremely powerful. And I say this all the time. It's not what question you ask the seller, but how do you ask the seller the questions so you can get the information that you want. So let me give you a quick example before I go into the second negotiating question. Most of you will ask, well, how much do you owe on the property? Well, unless you build a super good rapport with the seller, that question comes off like, to them, they felt like it's very personal, so they're not going to tell you, right? So how much you owe on the property? None of your business, right? And so instead of saying that, right, you would say, so, Nick, how much do, so you need to state it in a way where you'll be like, hey, Nick, so how much do we need to pay off on the property? So now instead of you telling them how much, asking them how much they owe, you're basically saying, what do we need to pay off, right? So they now, well, they need to pay off the mortgage. They're going to take care of my mortgage too. Well, they better need to know how much it is. Okay? So so it's not about what question you ask, but how do you ask, right? So you can get the information that you need from the seller. And a lot of you will, and some of you be like, well, Khang, why do we need to get the mortgage? So we know how much they owe. We know how much the property's worth. So we know the spread. So we know how low we can get them, right? How low we can get them to come down. That's why we need to know the mortgage. Like, are we wasting our time with the seller or are we not? If the property's worth $100,000 and they owe $95,000, shit, there's nothing we can do. And a lot of you will be like, well, you can do subject to, seller finance, own a contract. Dude, that's like a whole nother beast. That's like a whole nother thing that you have to learn, right? My whole thing is I just want to wholesale. I want to keep it simple and clean because there's a lot of leads out there. There's a lot of sellers out there that owe just enough for us to make a profit. I want to get in, get out, and keep it simple. So the next negotiating question you want to ask is, now this one, you got to position it just right. You don't want them to feel like you're doing this, like you do this to anyone. Very, very powerful, my friend. So instead of saying, well, we also take care of all the closing costs and all the fees. Instead of saying that, I want you to switch it up and say something like this. So I'll pick some others, Henry. So I would say, so Henry, I don't know if I could, but if I was able to get my company or my team manager or my partner, however you guys want to say it. But I would say, Henry, what if, right? And you got to slow it down because you want them to hear what you want them to hear. So you got to slow it down. This is not the time where you speak really fast. So you got to slow down your pace because you want them to hear. And what you want them to hear is you want them to hear this. So Henry, I don't know if I could, but if I was able to get my team manager to take care of all your closing costs or my company to take care of all your closing costs and all the fees for you. And here's what I mean, Henry. No realtor commission you have to pay. We'll take care of all that. We'll pay all the closing costs as far as like all the excise tax, the transfer tax, the title insurance, the escrow fee. Basically, any costs that associate with you selling your property, we'll cover all that for you. There's no money coming out of your pocket at a time of closing because we'll pay for everything. If I can get my company to do that for you, what's the absolute lowest you'll be able to go for us? So when you, instead of saying what's the absolute lowest you can go and then stop, just add in the word for us. Because now you make it very personal. Right? You're not doing it to Henry, to John, to Susan, but what is it for us? Boom. My friend, that question right there is worth 20G. Dude, by asking those questions, you should be able to get the seller to drop the price like it's freaking hot potato. And all of my VA, we train them to ask these questions, and they must ask every single time. And here's negotiating question number 3. But let me go ahead and look at some question really quick. What's the best way to start looking into wholesale in Florida? So if you're looking to get started and you don't know where, number 1 is join your local RIA. The next thing you can do is DM me the word help. I'll send you a free training. It's a 15-minute video. Well, I'll send it to you. You can watch it, and then hopefully it'll get you started in the right path. Okay, so here's negotiating question number 3. And this one is just simply saying, so John, since we are going to pay all cash, which means we can close on the date of your choice. Once again, we want to make sure this is a hassle-free sale. You pick the date, you pick the time, we'll make it happen. Is that the lowest that you can go for us? Boom. There it is, baby. That's all I got for you today. And what I got for you today, for those of you who actually take the information and who go implement and take action on it, you know this life right here is priceless. You cannot put a price tag on this life. Because if you take the information and you implement and it work, and you're able to lock a property in a contract, right, where when you talk to that seller, you can't get the seller to come off 10, 20K, and with whatever I just share with you, boom, and you can use it again and again and again and again. How can you put a price on that? How can you? Priceless, my friend. Priceless. You see, knowledge without execution, you don't execute on it. But if you execute on the information and the knowledge that you receive, my friend, you will change your life and you will change your bank account. There are just too many of you are more of a talker instead of a doer. Like, you talk more than you do. And a lot of you on the live, you already know what you need to do. But the reason you're not doing it because you're thinking that you need to get everything figured out. And that's why you haven't seen any results. Results do not come from you constantly watching YouTube video, reading books, and listening to podcasts. Results coming from you taking action. And the thing is about taking, like, listen, the action that you take, it does not have to be perfect. Because what happened is, as long as you keep on going, you will start to figure things out, and the puzzle will start to reveal itself. You might not know this today, and then you took action, and then the next day you might know something else that you didn't know. But just to sit there and just to listen and educate, but not doing anything is honestly a waste of time. It's worthless. You rather not heard it before. Like, you rather just go do something else. Recommendation on first investment property. Joey, until you have built a business where it makes you between $20,000 to $50,000 a month, you should not worry about buying investment property. All right? So my question to you is, who do you know that work at a job, go buy rental, and makes 20 to 50K within, let's just say, a few years? Who do you know? The answer is nobody. Because passive income, my friend, is a 10 to 20 year game plan. A lot of you keep on thinking about passive because you're just like, I don't want to do anything. And I just want my money to grow. But what you got is you got baby money. You got 10, 20 G's. Dude, if you really want it, so the whole passive income is a 10 to 20 year game plan, my friend. So you should focus on building a business first. And until you have a business that's pumping you 20 to 50K a month, you shouldn't try to diversify. And a lot of you, this is also your problem, is you're trying to diversify too soon. So let's just say you have 100K in your bank, right? And you're trying to grow and build your business at the same time. And then you'll be like, well, I need to diversify because they said, millionaires have multiple streams of income. Dude, that's BS. Multi-millionaires have multiple streams of income. Millionaires, they've built with one stream of income. Let me say this again. Multi-millionaires have multiple stream of income. Millionaires, they mix their first million with one stream of income. You gotta master and build one business first, my friend. Imagine having 2-3 kids at the same time. Dude, it's hard. So one kid, raise that kid up where it's become independent without you, without requiring a lot of your time, right, to overlook. Which means now your business have system, have team in place, where it doesn't require much of your time. Then you can go and try to build another business, man. Make sense? So diversification, dude. Now a lot of you're taking your baby money. You're taking your 5,000, you put into crypto, you put into stocks, you put a little bit of money into your Roth IRA and all of this because Because you're hearing all these people talking, because that's what happened, is you listening to too many different people online. That's your problem. A lot of you, dude, your whole entire day is consuming with content. A lot of you on here, I don't know why you would follow 100 people. Like, dude, you only need 3 or 4 max. One for fitness, one for money, obviously, right? One for mindset. And then like you really only need 4 to 5 people. And the rest should be like, dude, the rest should be unfollow. If I'm not one of them, to just unfollow. Honestly, like, you got to do what's good for you. You got to look out for yourself. Okay? Because if you follow 100 people, each one of them put out one piece of content, your whole entire day is gone. And you haven't done shit. And you sit there wondering why, man. Your life hasn't changed and your bank account hasn't changed. So diversification, yeah, even if you take you see, this is what I call baby money. You take your 5, your 10,000, and you put into, like, let's say Tesla. Even if Tesla double in price, is that money enough to change your life? That's number one. And do you think that's going to happen within a few months? Do you know it's going to happen within a few months? Can you guarantee that you will double and get your money back in 3 to 4 months or 6 months? You cannot, because it's unpredictable. You're trying to get lucky. So instead of banking on, so that's why a lot of you, man, you need to bank on yourself. Bet on yourself. Why would you want to bet on the market and depending on the market, hoping and wishing and praying, when you should bet on yourself? Because when you bet on yourself, my friend, you can guarantee the return. You certainly can. Because whatever you put in, you get out. So a lot of you, dude, instead of betting on yourself, because maybe you don't believe in yourself. Yeah, so when you diversify, dude, it's that you're hurting your business. So imagine you're starting to build your business, and your business needs fuel. It needs money to grow. You can hire on teams, systems, marketing, to keep on growing. But instead, you listen to people and diversify, and you're pulling the cash away. You're suffocating. What you're doing is you're suffocating your business. Because you're taking the 5K, the 10K that you could put into your marketing, you put it here, you put it there, and boom. Make sense? Khang, do you believe in the Burr method? Dude, absolutely, bro. Dude, I do it all the time. I'm about to do one right now. But listen, you gotta get rich first, my friend. Get rich before you can get wealthy. Okay? So the Burr method, yeah, dude, you buy it probably at a discount, you fix it up, and then you go to the bank, you do the cash out refi, and you rent it out. Yes, dude. The Burr method is how people build wealth. Get wealthy, keep their wealth. But you're not there yet. You haven't even got rich. So I don't know why you're talking about, buying rental property and doing the Burr. Dude, the Burr will suck up 6 months of your, at least, I would say 6 months or so. So let's just say you got 50K in the bank. You'd be like, well, Khang, I can go do the Burr method. Okay? Take your 50K. You're still stuck at the J or the B that you're miserable, that you don't like, you're unhappy every single day. You take the 50K and you go buy a Burr strategy. Now you tie up the 50K for 6 months. After you do the 6 months, you do the cash out refi, you get your money back, you do it again. But in the meantime, what are you doing? You're stuck at the J or the B that you don't like. And your cash is not, so to me, man, you got to get rich first before you can get wealthy. Build a business first before you think about buying rental property and doing the whole Burr method, man. Because a lot of you don't, it takes time. The Burr, dude, it takes time, bro. What business have you always wanted to start beside real estates? Oh, man, that's a good one. Gosh, Lee. What business that restaurant. I always wanted my own restaurant, a Vietnamese pho restaurant. But I realized that, the whole brick and mortar restaurant, dude, is a tough business. It's extremely hard to scale, and it just requires too much work. If you hire a chef, right? Obviously the chef got to be good. So you so dependent on that chef. So let me give you guys an example. So most Vietnamese do nail salon. They have nail salon, right? But to do nails, right? They got to get a license, right? So which means that they got to get a license. They got to be, obviously, this training process, right? So it's hard to replace them. Does that make sense? That's why McDonald's, they can grow and scale so quick and so big, right? Once they're in the real estate game, not selling burger, but I understand that. But imagine if trying to replace someone to flip a burger. It's a no-brainer. You can get any average people to do that. But for a nail technician, they require a license, go through training and all of that. So that's why a lot of you don't own nails restaurant. You don't know. But some of my sisters own a nail salon. And for them, dude, during the summer times when it gets really busy, their nail technicians always act up. They always want to get paid more because they know that there's limited amount of them. But for me, dude, I can go out there and hire a new co-caller just like that. You're not happy with how we pay you? You don't show up and do what you're supposed to do? Boom, done. Get out of here. We'll get someone else in. It's like a pipeline. It's like McDonald's. I'll get someone else and replace you just like that. You see, so when your business depends on people that have like a certain expertise, it's just harder to grow and scale. Make sense? Understand, but how do you start? You mean like in the wholesaling game? DM me the word help. I'll send you a free training, bro. I haven't looked at the comments, so I just turned 18. What do you recommend to make money? So legendary, man, if you're 18, you're 19, you got to get your priorities straight, right? Or you're going to go to college or you're going to go entrepreneurship. First, you got to get a JOB, man. You got to get some income start coming in. Get a JOB, dude, right? Get a JOB, dude. Whether it's part-time or full-time, I would still stay at I would still stay at your parents' house, dude, if you can. Be responsible. Do not accept handouts. Pay for every shit that you got. You're 18 now. You're a man now. Right? So pay for everything. Do not take handouts. When you take handouts, you become weak. You gotta listen to what they say. But when you pay for rent, I'm gonna rent the bedrooms downstairs in your basement. I'll pay you rent. How much is it? Obviously, there's gonna be a family discount, right? But pay for rent. Pay for your own food. Pay for your own gas. Pay for your shit. So they can't say shit. And it also, dude, it helps build up your character. It helps build you up as to who you are. Once you accept handout, man, it's game over. It is. You become a snowflake. If something happens in your life, you run back to them, you cry and whine like a little bitch. How do you expect they respect you? How do you expect that they believe in you, that you can go out into the real world and make it on your own? When all you do is asking for handouts. And when you run into a problem, dude, figure it out. Figure it out. So number one is you got to get your priorities straight. Number two is once you start making some money, you got to be smart with your money. You got to focus on the getting rich, not look rich. Regardless of what your friend around you do. Let them do stupid shit. Okay? So the friends around you that are out showing off to you, that are buying like, that are living the life that you're like, oh, they're living the life and you're not. I promise you, in 3 to 5 years, they're still stuck at the JOB, miserable, crying, whining like a little bitch. I promise you, I can guarantee you. Dude, I see that throughout my life all the time. But if you're the one who suck it up, man, who make the sacrifice, 3, 5, 7 years later, dude, you're in your late 20s, you'll be living the highlights. You get to travel when you want, control your own schedule, and work with whoever the F you want. You can party, don't have to come back on Monday to a JOB, be your own boss. That's the life, dude. But it takes sacrifice, right? So let them, so you gotta zone out the noise. And how you zone out the noise is when you got your priority right. When you get your priority right, dude, nothing else matter. You're like, dude, I'm gonna get rich. I'm gonna become this and that and right? So you zone out the noise that it's not. But a lot of you, because you don't have your priorities straight. So you let temptation come into place. So when you get a call from your friend that say, man, we're throwing a party tonight, man. Let's go. You don't have your priorities straight, so you'd be like, okay, let's go. But once you have your priorities straight, you'd be like, no, dude, I'm sorry, bro. You go have fun. I got shit to do. I got money to make. Boom. Your network is your net worth. That's correct. But let me tell you this, man. Once you got your priorities straight, you have different types of friends. The friends that are not aligned with your goals and your dreams, they're not your friends anymore. Like, you can't really talk to them. Because you're talking about goals and visions and accomplishing big things and becoming a millionaire, making 10, 20,000 a month. And they're here like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, dude, I'm happy flipping, hey, just go flip a burger, right? Like, your goal is just not aligned. Your mindset is so different from them. You cannot be a millionaire with a 9-to-5 mindset. Impossible. People that get off, dude, okay, listen. People that have an employee mindset, once they clock out, they just shut down. Once they clock out that 8-hour, dude, they just shut down. They go, they party, they have fun. Like, they don't care. They just shut down. But when you're an entrepreneur, dude, you just can't shut down. That's the problem with entrepreneurship. You're just constantly thinking about strategies, business ideas, like a partnership deal, like constantly building businesses. Does that make sense? So if your friend don't align, it's just like you guys cannot be friends. It's just impossible. I started to prioritize myself, and my friends now are entrepreneur. That's awesome. Truly is. That's why you don't want to change the people around you. Like, when you change, everything around you change. But when you start to change the outer, so you cannot change the outer world and expect your inner world to change. It's impossible. Because you cannot change the people who don't want to be changed. So a lot of you spend too much time. Oh, all right, Lon is out. I honestly hope this live add a lot of value to you guys. But until next time, take care. And let's go get this money. Ciao.